I'm
We're
also,
back.
I guess to kind of like brief that. So when did I? I don't.
It was
you left
January.
shortly.
So
Yeah, like January. You
of
left.
last year.
Yeah.
So
I left
Me and
around-
I'm trying to remember. So I'm trying to like. I'm gonna try to remember. So I would say me and Eric had creative differences, and it just kind of didn't work out. We kind of parted ways, and for a while, like I was doing my own thing. I know they were doing their own thing. I don't know why Paul left, so I guess you can talk about that in a second. But I think it was just like when there's a lot of time away and you kind of doing your own things, you kind of realize you're like, damn, we're both stupid. So
Yeah.
when you reconnect and you're kind of like, no, like you're still like one of my good friends and like vice versa. And yeah, I mean, once you like hash it out and you just kind of drop the ego and just kind of like be like, hey, like we're buddies and we like what we do, like let's fucking kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just kind of what happened. And Paul came
So-
at the same time.
So
so
just a
Ryan,
quick hold on, just a quick follow up with that, Ryan. How did you get to the point where it was like, all right, let's drop the ego? Like, what was it that clicked for you to come back?
Oh,
Okay.
I bet I know what it was.
What was it?
I don't know.
Go for it.
You say it.
I think it's probably my part, right? Because I kind of
I would say
for the longest time. Okay, so he went on hiatus, and then I went on hiatus because I was struggling financially. So I kind of had to go back in my vibe of working 2 jobs to support my family and everything, and I was getting financially stable. So I hit Eric back up, and we were talking about it. And it's like my passion to play as a musician. It's like my dream goal of being like a full-time musician, you know?
Yeah.
So I went back to the band, we got together, and for the longest time we were just having a struggle to find like a good drummer or like another member that could either do drums or guitar. Because I'm comfortable enough drumming where I can really like, if I put all the work and time into it, I can do it. But I'm more comfortable in guitar because I have more time into guitar. I have more playing guitar. So we were like, okay, let's just try to find a drummer to get our lineup back and play shows. And for the longest time, we just couldn't find anyone that was worth trying, I guess. And I loved Ryan as a drummer. He's a phenomenal guy. I love him.
but not as a person.
But he's cool to work with. Like he thinks of like all these cool ideas, all that stuff. So I was thinking about it. I was like, man, should I hit up Ryan back and try to get him in the band? Like, because I know him and Eric set aside, the differences and stuff, but I gave it a shot. I was like, hey, why not? Just texted him out of the blue one day, and he was like, sure, I'd be down to play another time, try it another day. But
yeah,
I think Ryan just kind of made the band back what it was,
Yes, sir.
brought the band back together, brother.
brought it all together.
So I was trying to think of an analogy. Have you ever seen Some Kind of Monster by Metallica? Like the old docuseries? Watch it. It's hilarious. But basically, like Lars and James, they were just like butting heads over like the dumbest stuff.
Yeah.
And by the end, they're kind of both like, hey, we're both stupid. Like, let's do what's best for the art. And I think like for us, it was just for me and Eric, it was just like, how can we coexist and do what's best for like the music and like the band and the brand and make it the best that we can be. And ever since then, I think it's just been like the most smoothest sailing thing ever.
Sir.
Butter. I guess like kind of finalize what I was saying. So comparing like the 2 EP in terms of like the studio and how it was going, I would consider like the first album was not saying we had to walk on eggshells, but it's just like everyone had their role, but like no one really wanted to kind of like speak up for their role. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So with this EP, I felt like anytime anyone was in the room, like it's just like if they felt like an emotion, like, yo, what if we did this thing? Everyone was just like, yo, let's fucking do it. And it was just like this trifecta, just kind of like everyone was like in the moment of creating like the best thing without like having like an ego being hurt. It was just like, let's make the best song ever. And like a lot of these songs like came out much better than like expected because of that fact.
So what I'm hearing is Paul is the glue.
Honestly, I think Paul is the glue.
That's, I mean, like, but like what, how do you change that? Like, because going from that full album to your new EP, like, yeah, a couple of years has gone by, but there's like, you know, you've got years and years worth of kind of like who you are as individuals, right? And I totally get creative differences and being able to work past those, but I one of the things that I'm curious about is how you got to the point where it was like you couldn't move past them, but now you're able to. Was that just because you're like, because we're friends, I'm gonna just respect you and like I'll just kind of get over it? Or was it like, was there actually like, hey, we need to really figure this crap out?
Yeah, we do that. We say that to each other a lot.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, I think again, like I think friends first, then like band and music comes second. Because if we're not like friends or good friends, like there's no way you can work or last past like a certain time frame. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's something that a lot of big bands like have broken up over that type of stuff, because it just does. You can't just fake it. You can't fake it till you make it on that type of stuff, because it's obvious in the music. It's obvious in the live performances. It's like you can't just get past that stuff. So that makes sense. And when did the band get back together in the form again? Like when did that happen? Just before going back into the studio?
I think so. Yeah.
So I wasn't there. So they did Hello, and that was kind of like the reintroduction of like, hey, we did this. We have more stuff coming. Like, what do you think? So everything past Hello, I think is when like we all kind of like officially like came back.
So right at the end of last year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.